How do we line up our inner motivation to get the things that we want? It is our Raw Materials Aligning with Intention Week. I am Tavish Cardiff, here to talk about how we actually do that. Intention gets 2 weeks of focus in our system, both in the last 4 weeks. Our intentions themselves stem from our emotional considerations and makeups, while aligning with intentions is more of a mental pursuit. And we have resources in the middle, which helps line those two things up directly. Our intentions, what we want, how do we set up the way to make it happen, and then finally aligning it and following through, getting it to happen. All of that is right before the precipice of wholeness, where whether we've made it happen or not, we are accepting our efforts and the things that we have put into our intentions, not necessarily what we have come through with, because as we talk about, we have more intentions than we could possibly ever meet. The things that we have thought of doing are infinite and we can't fulfill them all. There's just not enough time in a day. So paying attention to what we actually can line up and do helps us keep our mental space clear, because now we're not spending any time in disappointment for things that we weren't able to meet. Intentions themselves are emotional. We fire off in all kinds of directions, all kinds of thoughts about what we might want. When I wake up in a day, the amount of things that run through my head about the possibilities and what the day could be is huge. And then when you look at time and you narrow down what you actually can do, now you're looking at a more narrowed space. Now you're looking at more aligning with intentions rather than seeing all the possibilities, being excited about them. And then once you narrow down that list, instead of being disappointed at all the things you had to leave over here, taking a breath and being really excited about the things that you are accomplishing, even if you had to leave a bunch of things that you really wanted to do. I know it happens to me all the time. I am a disc golfer, so my alignment with playing disc golf is often shoved to the back burner. Even though it's something I love to do and intend to do and want to do, it doesn't often make it onto my agenda for the day right now. That doesn't mean it hasn't in the past, and that doesn't mean it won't in the future, but I hold it still as an intention because I love it so much. It ties to so many things for me, but I can recognize all of my intentions around disc golf stem from emotion. I'm not really lining them up to action unless somebody signs me up for a tournament or tells me, hey, we're going here, let's go. Because unless I am going to play with my friends or spend some, quality time with my husband that he's asked for, I'm probably not going to play very much. But that's going to be a value-based judgment in the moment. I also know the things I'm doing right now are incredibly valuable and mean a lot and allow me to do exactly what I'm doing right here and try to put a voice around this practice so that it is able to reach people. Because I am more aware than anyone how much this is a mind-body connection, and it's very hard to make an intellect see it. And here I am aligning with intentions, trying to reach during a mental week, during an intellectual space, trying to set up something that reaches into the heart, that reaches into the body, that uses the breath, that moves this around and makes us see, all right, if I think about these 12 pillars, if I actually develop a relationship with each one of them, how I personally feel, this will change my environment. Give it a try. I'm really encouraging it, and I'm about to start annoying people with my efforts, I'm sure. And I get it. I understand that my aligning with this intention is going to put a lot of people off who expect different and other things from me. Right now, this is my passion and my purpose lining up with something that I see the world needing right now. And when I look at my intentions around the things that I think about and how connected they are to not just helping me and my life, but providing some sort of format for every single human being to examine their own life and their own experience with grace and breath and no judgment and just a willingness and a curiosity to see the value in each of those experiences. I align with the intention to spread this process, to spread this practice, to spread this pattern so that we can all see it in all of the other things that we do. As I go through my week, a lot of people who know that I'm doing this now will send me articles and things where several of the words of the pillars are used in the article. And increasingly, we are seeing these 12 words, these 12 concepts crop up in articles all over the place. If you look at the trends, upcoming trends for 2023, 2024 in terms of wellness, group activity, getting together and doing things that feed the soul, mind, body, these are the areas that we are leaning into as a race, as a human race. So it is pretty cool to see what I have been watching build with our raw material, what we have been untangling and presenting as pillars is actually starting to come in all over the place. So the beauty of that is not lost on me, and I am able to line up my own intentions with my passion and purpose, which is why it's okay something like disc golf is falling by the wayside for me for now. That doesn't mean I won't be back. I might even do some more raw material based things within the disc golf community in Kansas City. So that is where I'm kind of putting my ideals and my dreams right now. What is that? What could that look like? What would that look like? And how do I introduce this in a way that people can feel? Because I am well aware, as I intend a practice that's available for anyone and everyone, that the way that it gets received sometimes is that there's something wrong or something that needs to be fixed or changed. And I hope that the pillar of wholeness helps people settle in around the idea that every single bit of everything you are, everything we are, everything I am, you are, is exactly how it's supposed to be and is perfect. We are aligned with intention. But when we can get our intellect around that, along with our experience, along with our mind, our heart, our gut, then we start to see this magical space where we're able to transform things quickly and instantly. We're able to manifest the things that we want that are connected to the universe. When we align with intention, we are able to see what's possible and ways to make it happen. And it really doesn't have to be that hard. We dream it, we imagine it, we see the pieces line up, and then we wait patiently to see how it unfolds. But the more we stay focused on those intentions, the more we stay focused on those dreams, and we really spend time thinking about how they will work and how they won't work, and look at ourselves with a critical eye, with a willingness and an openness to accept our own criticism and then criticism from others. Because aligning with intention involves clearing the way for yourself enough to believe in what you're doing. When we really step back and look, we see that we have many, many intentions all coming together at once. Our thoughts are so much bigger than what look at me tripping all over my words. Our thoughts are so much bigger than what we are able to express or how quickly the words can come out. And as I'm letting these thoughts kind of fall in, I don't even know how to put words around it. It makes me smile just to see how much energy can be generated just putting an intention around that. How do I even describe that? I'm not sure. But it's a feeling that makes me breathe, that makes me smile, that brings joy and possibility into my whole being, into my cells, into my very active being. When we do have all of those intentions running at once and realize we have this 24 hours in a day and all of the demands and obligations that come from our friends and family and environment, and how much time we have for ourselves, kind of have to really look at how we want to order what we have time for and what we're doing. Are we meeting all the needs? So when we do align with our intentions, instead of going all in on one or two things, we're spreading it out and we're taking the time to be balanced. We are taking the time to plan and breathe and understand the reasons why we're doing what we're doing rather than just rushing through it. It really comes down to getting your mind around the bigger picture of yourself seeing the things that really do light you up and make you happy. Not the things that it seems like should, but the things that really do. And so long as they're legal and so long as they are not hurting anyone else, I think that it's okay to pursue your own passion, whatever that is. And the moral space that we all occupy, the judgment that we all occupy, is that mental structure that crowds us and keeps us from the full expression that we want to be. So we have to find the space where we feel comfortable moving, where there's an easy push, where there's an easy avenue to make the things that we want happen. Taking our desires, our resources, and just watching doors open. Because when we do line those things up, the unfolding that happens before us and the way that we can watch the universe give us the things that we need, that is powerful. That is some powerful stuff. There's only so much time in a day to spend thinking about anything. When we spend it in fear, in worry, in stress, in any thoughts about what might go wrong, other than for the purpose of gaining a clear path, we are stalling out our manifesting. We are taking valuable time where we could be creating the things that we want and slowing down that process. And it may be the universe's way of telling us maybe we don't actually know what we want. Maybe we need to take a better look at it. But remembering that time spent in negativity, that time spent in turmoil, is keeping us from the things that we would like to align with. The challenge that I would like to issue for this week is to celebrate the things that you actually do. You had an intention, you made it happen, you did it. Give yourself credit. Have some minor little celebratory moments within yourself. Share them with somebody else if you want, but just celebrate every little thing that you do. Because what that's going to do is take up the time that you would be otherwise using to judge yourself for not doing other things. See what it feels like to just celebrate what can be done and start noticing the value in the things that you choose to do versus the things that you don't. If there's a bunch of things that you do that you don't really value, my guess is you're going to see that shift start to happen within yourself, and it's going to be fun and it's going to be funny and it's going to be easy to find that inner motivation that is sometimes so hard to muster with just our intellect, with our shameful voice, with that part of us that tells us you need to do XYZ. Because the truth is we don't need to do anything. I mean, really, we don't need to. We've got people on street corners all the time doing nothing. But somewhere between there and getting absolutely everything that you want lies a space to believe, manifest, and create. So as long as your basic needs are actually being met, and if they're not, that's a whole different set of intentions to try to align to, and those are soul-based. What I'm talking about here are our ego intentions, not to feed or clothe ourselves, but maybe to feed ourselves fancy food and to wear designer clothing. Very, very different perspective on need. Very, very different place to start aligning our soul's needs, our ego's needs, and the intentions that we are lined up to fulfill. There's more around us than any of us are willing to look at, even if we think we are. Every single day, as I practice this, I discover more and more avenues of things that I just hadn't thought of. I untangle ideas that I don't even know where they came from. But it's fun to really let go with wild abandon of the things that I know, the hard and fast rules about what I know, because I spent so long digging in on my own knowledge. It was the thing that held me strong. And now I realize that my tie to something bigger, whatever we want to call that, is so much stronger than my own personal intellect, my own little tavish life and body and being, when I see myself as part of something larger and bigger, that feels better, infinitely better than feeling like I'm doing it all myself. Week 11, aligning with intention. Taking the things that you want and making them happen. Thank you for joining me. I will be back next week to discuss wholeness as we round out this season and get ready to start a new one for the spring. Thank you.